moving along here, I wanted to show you, this one's going to be a pretty quick video, maybe like 15-20 minutes. I'm going to show you how to use my brushes in Lightroom. So let's just get right into it. So let's select the subject for the first ones. I literally do this every single time. I select the subject. This, okay, delete, mask. I'm going to reset this photo for you, and we're going to start from a blank canvas. So I always come over to, and I use my own presets on all of my work. Seriously, it's, I just love my presets, and that's why I am confident enough into being able to sell them. I think I actually used one of my newer ones, though, that I just haven't released yet. Obviously, this is super dark. So what are we going to do? We're going to, which this is nice because it's nice to show you. I'm just really going to up the exposure. Then I am going to pick a neutral color. Probably do this every time I do photos. Obviously that was like way too much. I want to bump it up just a bit more. And then, I mean, honestly though, to me it doesn't need like a ton more with the white balance. I think it's pretty perfect where it's at. So I'm going to select my subject, and then now I'm going to walk you through the brushes of mine that you are going to receive with my mentorship. And make sure after you are done watching this video that you, if you have not downloaded them, that you get those puppies downloaded. So I always start with the People Pop. I always put it on them. Gives them just exactly what it says, just a little pop, you know, makes the whites pop, the colors pop, the skin nice. And then I always select the subject and I invert it and I subtract it from the sky. Perfect. And then you can see here that it still has some of him selected because it's not understanding that like he's not a part of this. So I'm going to get my subtraction brush, and we're going to just go over Dad right here just a little bit. Get rid of that, and then I am going to do my background pop, and that looks lovely. I mean, it really just brightens it, warms it up just a smidgen. Okay, and then I'm going to select the sky so we can use my sky brush. And then I use my sky pop. There's not going to be a ton of color to this because of where I took the photo at. Oh, look at there. Thought it was more blown out than that. That's what I get for not looking. Play with your exposures because that's really where your sky color is going to come from. You don't want to have to rely on your saturation a ton, because if I bump up my saturation, my skies are going to look fake. And yes, they still catch your eye and they look good, but not to the point where you're like, maybe that's an overlay. I always, like I said, I always play with my hue to see where I want my colors, because I like my skies to be more like a jean blue. Even this jean is too blue for me, and I have a brush for that actually. You can cool it down to make it more blue, warm it up. I think where my brush was at was pretty much spot on with the colors that day. And then now we get to move on to just like the fun little brushes. So if you didn't see that before I pushed it, just push a K on your keyboard and it's gonna pop you up a new brush. Okay, so if you come down here, let's look. So like her shirt is, or her cardigan is like the perfect example here. I don't like how blown out her shirt is right here. So I use my by highlights and brush it off. And so that's like a little too dark and it's a little blue. So I'm gonna warm it up, and you can do this wherever you see, too many highlights. Come down here where you've got too many highlights. This is really good for like foreheads that are straight into the sun, that need just a little toning down. And then moving on to iris pop. This is probably my third most used brush. So you're going to zoom in and you're going to come in and you're going to whiten her eyes. And sometimes this can be too much on the eyes, just depending on the lighting, and super simple, easy fix. Just turn down the exposure quite a bit. And hers they're pretty white for the most part, so I wouldn't worry about playing with this. But a lot of the time, if you are like in a shadowed area, under trees, under coverage, especially if you do like your pictures warmer, like me, a lot of people's eyes tend to be orange because of just my editing. And so when I go in, I will like turn this down. That makes her eyes way too blue. But to give it a white color and get that, I'm gonna up the pupil pop a little bit, just make them come out of the photo a little bit more. Okay, and sorry, got sidetracked. To get rid of some of the orange that is in their eye from how warm I do edit my photos. And that's just something that you have to be aware of. If you edit cooler, you might need to pop in some warmth into their eyes. Totally different for everybody. The famous pant fix button here. I hate when blues are too blue. I am not a fan of super vibrant blue. So you can see that just took it down to more of a dull blue, and your eyes aren't like, oh, look, his pants are super blue now. Okay, I mean, you could even like use it for like these little spots on her dress if those are driving you crazy. It's a good tool to tone really anything down. Moving on to orange shadows. Right here on her face might be a good example. Let's see if it's too much. So if it actually wasn't too much, we could probably take the exposure down a little bit, but it's nice because it evens out her skin. This is really another one that's really good for if you are outside like in the bright sun and then their shadow on their face like down to their neck can be very orange just from the sun reflecting off of our skin. Then our skins naturally have a lot of orange in them. I use it a lot, especially on children. For some reason their skin gets just really orange when they're out in the sun. And then the next brush that we'll use is the cool down. So like if their skin I'll just show you, was too warm, like they say they had like a really bad like spray tan, this brush would help a lot with that, okay, and making them look more natural. But obviously she's really white, so they don't really need to be cooled down by any means. Skin highlight, I love this one. This one will be really good for her because she's in the shadows, like her dad is shadowing her. Just gives a little bit of life, to any skin. I usually put it all over just to brighten up everybody's skin just a little bit. Everybody likes to have some warmth. I probably wouldn't here just because she's already getting a lot of like sun on that arm. I just want to show you like the difference. Just brings, you know, something special to the skin, I like to say. And then the next one is the Clothes Pop. I use this one probably on every single session that I do too. Her dress is already very vibrant and saturated, so I don't even know if I would, like, how much of this I would use, because it makes them darker. I would probably bump up my exposure, but then it's still going to give it more detail. I'll just show you. See how it was kind of like more dull and then more vibrant. And this is another one that you can come and like play with your colors, where if you're like, oh, but her dress really wasn't like, you know, that red, then bring it down and bring those tones down, so that way you can, and then heck, I mean, if you wanted it blue, make her dress blue. It's just, I mean, endless. So I suggest you guys play with this little color tool right here too, and really like learn how to get the hang of it. So let's do another one. Then I have my sun flare. I don't use this one like a ton, only usually through like trees. If there's like the perfect little holes where you're like, oh, those trees would look really good with like some sun coming through, because it is a very like vibrant and powerful brush. And sometimes, a lot of the time when I'm using this brush, I will take my flow and my density down to around probably like 40, and then I try to click quick so that way it's not sitting on there. But you can see, and I'll show you like before and after. So look here and here where I put them. I'll bring it down here a little bit into the mountains so that way you can see. This is really good for adding in some, you know, exactly what the name says, some sun flares into your photo to add some pops of light. I'll leave that there so you can see. And then the next one is the Sky Pop, which you guys actually already saw on here. I used my Sky Pop already. So those are my brushes and how you can utilize them. I actually have more coming out that you guys will be able to purchase if you already have a mentorship. They'll once I get the mentorship done, then I can start working on, you know, these other like tryouts and stuff like that I have going. Hopefully then I can get my studio ones released and stuff too. But that's pretty much it for my brushes. They're super simple to use, but use them because they literally, they make my photos. Without this, my photos would not look like they do at all. Utilize your brushes in Lightroom and utilize your masks, and I promise you that you will end up getting what you are looking for with your photos. And again, I know I say this at the end of every photo, but please reach out and ask any questions that you have, and I will be more than like, say you just can't get it to work for you, like let me know and we will work through it and get you where you want to be. That's what I'm here for. I want to help get you and get your photos where you want them to be.